Well, if there's one thing we've learned in 3 years, is that Trump will always respond. You ask a dumb question, Trump's gonna respond.
With CNN and your fake news. The fake news, which is you and you.
Impeachment testimony, Trump's gonna respond.
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
Storm our embassy in Iraq? Boy, will Trump respond.
U.S. military confirming it carried out a strike near Baghdad airport, killing Qasem Soleimani.
The Defense Department tonight has confirmed that the United States has killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani.
A rocket attack on the Baghdad airport kills Iran's most revered military leader.
Most revered. Yeah, a U.S. drone took out the guy who helped direct wars in Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon. A guy whose efforts led to the deaths of hundreds of Americans in Iraq. He was a bad guy doing really bad things for a really long time. So is it bad to kill a bad guy?
No one should be shedding any tears for Qasem Soleimani. He was, in fact, responsible for, he had American blood on his hands. But at the same time, I think the fact, as Ambassador Sherman said, that the consequences of this could be unbelievable.
Qasem Soleimani is a ruthless, ruthless killer. There is no doubt about that. Nobody weeps that he is gone. But that said, the Obama administration, at least to my knowledge, did not go after him and target him because we understood what the consequences were.
Everything comes with a but. Oh, terrible, terrible guy, terrible guy, terrible guy. But, and consequences? Look, Iran already doesn't like us. Hasn't liked us for decades. Iran's been not liking us way before Trump was elected president. Hell, it's been not liking us way before the Trump Tower was even built. But taking out a bad guy is bad because Trump.
What I think is going on here, frankly, is that this action was taken more in President Trump's self-interest rather than our national interest.
Still a charmer. Self-interest. Okay, Trump ran a campaign on avoiding quagmires, and his supporters had their fill with Iraq, Libya, and Syria. So this action seems the opposite of self-interest. It's a country's interest, our country. If you ask me, Trump took action to stop a war, not start one.
We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war.
See? I love being right. Yeah. My first prediction of the year is 100% on. So he's sending a clear message that Trump means what he says, that it's never a good idea to stake out your army in another country and plan attacks against the U.S. and think that you're going to get away with it. Not while he's president, at least. But thank God the media is focusing on the stuff that matters. Over at CNN, what was their best headline? President Trump dined on ice cream as news of the airstrike broke. As if Trump indulging in a sweetened dairy product makes the strike that much worse. Not for me, CNN. It actually makes it that much better. I mean, wouldn't you want your president to be eating ice cream while he eliminates a mass murderer? I do. I'd say that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, the experts on all the networks say we are one step closer to war, which raises the question, who exactly is an expert? On Iran, Iraq, or the Middle East in general, where is their proof of success beyond feverish appearances on cable news shows? No one has ever gotten that region right, ever. And anyone who sees the killing of a murderous general as worse than sending pallets of money to that general's country can be no expert. He can be a moron. Now, one other expert warned that this wasn't just any old killing. True, this wasn't just some ISIS fighter. It was a top general, a powerful leader of an adversarial government. So, hooray. I mean, really, Isn't the killing of old generals by drone preferable to sending waves of young men and women to their deaths on a battlefield? So maybe this doesn't mean war at all. War is when the old generals send young people to die. Under Trump, we just kill those old generals. And this is my favorite part, as you know. He did it with a flying robot. That's progress.
Period.